Right, fingers crossed we're going to be free of teething problems today. I am on my new desk in a new part of what I am now calling the studio with a new green screen, and everything's been unplugged from my computer and plugged back in again over the weekend. So there's a very good chance something's not working. As of right now, though, I don't know what it is. So I'm sure you'll enlighten me down in the comments what I got wrong. But I think everything is as it should be. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 11 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we are away against Manchester City in the Premier League, and then we're probably going to play Rotherham in the FA Cup, because we haven't done an FA Cup game on the channel for ages, it feels like. Since you were last with me, our crazy run of form hit a little bit of a wobble. Lots of wins in there, but then we had a draw. We're really struggling in the FA Cup this year. It's one of the reasons I want to show you the Rotherham game, because we're really labouring to get past teams. We've had 2 replays already, but then we lost in the Premier League against Bournemouth as well. And today we play Man City, who are below us. As it stands, we're 3 points clear of Tottenham and Liverpool, who are 4th and 5th place, but we have a game in hand on both of them. If we can find a way to beat Man City, we close the gap on Man United above us to 9 points. We're not catching anyone who's above us. We're just looking over our shoulders constantly. City are miles back, though. They're having a terrible season. And unless Gareth Wally is their permanent manager, I assume, yeah, they've sacked... I mean, they've sacked a few managers. They've sacked Guardiola, Ancelotti, Zidane, Allegri, Simeone and Benitez. It's a lot of managers to sack in one Football Manager save. So hopefully they're going to lose again today and continue on their run of being rubbish and sacking managers all the time. And this is the team that we're going to put out there to try and achieve exactly that. So we've got Svilar in goal, that's right. Janses, who I said was great, you lot said was rubbish. I still haven't played him again since the Man United game, since his debut. You lot might have been right about him. He's a decent backup keeper, but Svilar didn't go anywhere in January. In fact, did we do any other business? Nothing massively significant. We've signed Raul Garmendia, who's a centre-back, but we loaned him straight back to Real Sociedad. So we'll see. We'll meet him in the summer. Elias Afkir is a young striker who, again, we'll have a look at him in the summer or in a couple of years probably, and if he's still around. And then we just let a few players go out on loan. We sold Tosin. That's probably the major news, apart from Janses coming in. But and Aravalo's back. So he's back at the club, having been on loan for the first half of the season. So we've got Svilar in goal. A back four of Leo, Panzo, Oliveira and Danilo. Storaro, Portanova and Suto in midfield, with Onomar in behind Adonis and Miller. I'm very conscious that the camera is very high and more central than it normally is, so I probably look like I'm at a weird angle. It's something I'm going to try and fix for tomorrow. At the moment, I've got a little mini tripod stood on the desk because my desk is bigger than the old desk was. So it means you can't, if I put you on the floor the way you used to be at the right height, you're too far away. And then my shiny new Elgato green screen doesn't work properly and you end up seeing the shelves either side of it. That was money well spent. Although it does mean I can do this mid-game now. So if I decide, we're losing, what I might want to do now is just show you some of my pop vinyls. So I can just pull this down and say, got some pop vinyls here. So that's a nice feature we didn't have before. But that's probably ruined everything doing that. Don't move the green screen while you're recording, Kev. Let that be a note for you. Right, we're not losing yet. Marvellous. I don't have to show you any of the pop vinyls. This is good news. Dabala's picked up a knock for him as well. Where are they even playing him? Was I looking at our team then? We're the away team. I was just looking in our own team trying to find Dabala. He's probably in the Man City side. Miller, what can he conjure up? Has a shot from range. Not really any oomph to it. Dybala is playing up front for them, as you would expect. They're playing quite a negative system, though. 4-4-1-1, I guess, is what you'd call it. I would expect them to try and come at us a little bit more. But then I guess we're in an incredibly good run of form. We're up there in 3rd place, well past the halfway point of the season now. I'm not expecting a Champions League finish. I'm still thinking if we can cling on to the Europa League, I think that's going to be reason to celebrate. But I can see why a team lower down the table than us might look up at us and think, you know what, they might actually be the real deal. Normally these teams have fallen away by now. but they're still in there after 26 games. We need to be a little bit wary of them, but still playing one striker at home against us just seems unnecessarily conservative. But what do I know? This is why I'm only Leicester manager up in third place, and Man City have a new manager every year that they sack down in mid-table. Right, 0-0 at half-time, not 1-1 at all. I'd accept a draw here. Quite happily, I'm taking a draw. A draw gives us the 4-point gap between us and then Tottenham and Liverpool. 4 points with 12 games to go. I mean, it's not the most easily defensible gap in the world. 6 points would be nicer, but a 4-point gap is still a 4-point gap. And we'd have an away draw against Man City to show for that as well, which they're in a period of transition, but they've still got Dybala in their team, for example. Onomah just over the crossbar from range, and I wonder if we've got a little a winner in us somewhere. That's a good save from Svilla, justifying his selection again. There wasn't anyone coming in for him in January, interestingly. The previous 2 transfer windows was constantly fielding offers for Svilla, really low offers, like £5-6 million, but offers all the same. I bring in a player who in theory is roughly equivalent to replace him, and we didn't get a single offer. I was of a view of, if we get, we probably weren't going to get one, but a £20-25 million offer for Svilla, then we'd probably have let him go. But as it is, no offers come in. He stays in the team. Janssens is sat there down on the bench, and Spilla's playing better than he ever has for us previously. So it's a win on all fronts. Right, Suto's not having the best of games, so we'll bring on Marcus Edwards, drop Onomah back into the midfield, and likewise Adonis not playing particularly well, but my monitor's trying to turn itself off and I can't see who I've got to bring on. We'll bring Gardner on for now. I'm suddenly conscious that Almeida sat there on the bench, and he's a former Man City player, and I know how Football Manager works. So what we'll actually do is make that change. Edwards has been playing ahead of Almeida just because the world's decided to punish me. When we did the live stream transfer window, you lot were all telling me how good Edwards is, and I was like, squad player at best. And I announced Almeida as the signing of the save when he came in this time last year. And of course, because the world has to prove Kev wrong at every opportunity, I actually kind of think I prefer Edwards at this point, a year on. But I'm never going to admit that to you lot, so don't you worry. Right, we'll take Miller off as well and bring Hall on. And see if David Hall has got an Etihad winner up his sleeve. As much as I like David Hall, I do wonder if we should be having him on the bench in the Premier League at this stage of his career. He's not really a Champions League quality player, and here we are trying to qualify for the Champions League ridiculously. And we have still got Paulo Cesar knocking around. No one was interested in buying him in January, believe it or not, considering he hadn't played for a year. He's not close to match fit. There's no point bringing him onto the bench even when he's not close to match fit, because he's just going to get himself injured again. He plays 3 games for the under-23s and gets injured in the 3rd one. So he can't even get himself match fit playing under-23 games without picking up a knock. So I do wonder if we're ever going to see him play again. A few people have asked if it's realistic for our 4-star, in theory, best player, Brazilian under-23 international or whatever he is, who's still only 22, 23 years old. Is it realistic for him to not even be on the bench? I think it is, when he can't even get himself fit for the under-23s. He can't play 3 consecutive games. I think he's just broken. We've already seen Kante retire injured this season. Onomah's just scored a really... that's just a dirty goal. I don't know what their keeper's doing. We need to have a look at this from the other angle. Absolutely no way this shot should be beating Manchester City's goalkeeper. But Hall tucks it into Onomah, and wow, you would not be happy with that as a City fan. But fingers crossed, it is an example of things going our way. And you never know. Are we going to grab another one? Because that would be utterly ridiculous. Gardner can't keep hold of the ball. Surely that's the final whistle now. And any time now, we'd like a final whistle. Leo intercepts. We've got the ball. Forget your final whistle. Final whistle, please. And City come at us again. The whistle should have gone at this point. I'm staring at the clock. And We're just defending desperately. Leo with another good tackle. And we do pick up the win. There's now a 6-point gap between us and the chasing pack. And ridiculously, closing in on Man United. Because why not? The lamp's too bright. Does my face look really white today? Let's go and play in the FA Cup. So, Rotherham then. And this is a chance. Am I blurry? This whole video today is an experiment. Remember, the old setup had about a year of incremental changes to try and get it just right. I'm trying to get this all right in one day when I spent all morning streaming. Bad idea. So, we're just a complete change in the team for the Rotherham game. We're rotating massively. This might be why we're having to go to replays in all these games, but it's getting game time into some of these more fringe players, giving us an opportunity to have a look at them, resting the first teamers. There's method to it. So we've got Kalasic in goal, a back four of Brug, no idea. Ryan is at left back. He came through our youth team via Derby. I don't really get what happened there. I guess he just left Derby and came to us, but there's no transfer that's actually happened. He's had a few loans. He's played one game for us in the Premier League a couple of years ago. He's going to play today. With Kostic and Panzo, and then Aravalo back from his loan. He's played in both the FA Cup games so far, I think, or maybe just one. I don't know, both FA Cup first legs he's played so far. I bring the burst team back for the second leg. And then in midfield, we've got Portanova, Marco and Galbraith, with Edwards in behind Gardner and Miller, and a whole bunch of fringe players plus Adonis down on the bench. So let's get into the game. We are going to try and control this one. So we've gone to a control mentality, flexible of a bit, the name of which escapes me. What's it called? Team shape. Flexible team shape. And hopefully we can actually win an FA Cup tie at the first time of asking for the first time all season. It feels like one of those weird seasons where we're probably going to go and win the FA Cup while struggling to beat everybody. You sometimes get a weird cup run like that where they never seem to get a taste for it. They never seem to be properly into it. And all of a sudden they're in the semi-final and it feels like it kind of happened accidentally. Miller's in and could have scored after less than a minute. That would have been a marvellous way to start the game. I don't want to get there accidentally. I would like to win this game and then maybe win the next one and find ourselves in the semi-final. I think, is it 2 more games to get to Wembley for the semi-final? This one and then the 6th round. The 6th round's the quarter-final, isn't it? I think. I'm not sure. But Marco's just put us 1-0 up after 3 minutes, and hopefully the curse of FA Cup ties that we've been under so far this season is lifted and we can rotate, bring in some fringe players and also score a victory. Rotherham are down, I think they're 16th in the Championship when I had a look. So in theory, it's a team we should be safe to rotate against. And Aravalo's made that same interception a couple of times now. I don't know whether he's playing a little bit further forward than a normal right back would be, or if he's just quickest to get to it. But Rotherham keep trying to move the ball out onto this left wing, and Aravalo just steps up and takes it off him. He's doing a sterling job, considering he's a winger himself. We've been trading him to be a right back for like a year and a half now, but when he went out on loan, he wasn't playing as a right back, that's for sure. So he's played a couple of games as a right back in the last 6 months, and I don't know, I think he might have a future in it. He's a nice, quick, attacking right back who can obviously beat a man and get a crossing because he's originally a winger. I didn't expect him to still be around the squad at this point when I first arrived and set him to training as a right back, but he seems to have really taken to it. He can't tackle, but who cares? What do you need to tackle for? That's what the central defenders are for. Right backs are basically wingers that play level with the centre backs for like a fraction of the game. Most of the game we're playing with a 5-man midfield because that's how you're supposed to do it. Pack the midfield, get players wide, don't worry about defenders. Defending's for losers. Right, Hollet Broth. I'm going to... Brew? Don't know how to say that man's name. Ryan Hollett. Aravalo in again. He's having a stormer at right back. Portanova now. Out to Aravalo. Can he beat his man and get the cross in? We were just talking about it. He can't. He finds Galbraith. But he's making the run. He's there ready to receive the ball back. But Edwards decides to go it alone. And he probably shouldn't have done because it was a bit of a wild attempt. Never really troubled the Rotherham goal. And Rotherham haven't had a shot on target yet. I suspect they're about to equalise. Lost the ball. As always with FA Cup games. I said we haven't had an FA Cup game for a while. That's clearly not true because I've moaned about this ball recently. And I have no idea where the ball was there. I've got to stop showing you FA Cup games. Or learn how to change the colour of the ball, which I'm told is a thing you can do. I just don't know how to do it. But I think it's time for substitution o'clock, and Edwards has not had a very... I talk highly about Edwards in the last match, and he's not played very well at all today. We don't have Almeida on the bench, though, so I would bring Lewis Booth on, but he's injured. I mean, why would Almeida not be on the bench? Perhaps I should pick my own bench. Tyrone Robinson, can you play up front? Not really. Adonis can. Onomar could have got... Right, redo. Can we have a do-over? Right, just change them both. So, where were we? Adonis is going to come on up front. And then Onomar's going to come on there. We may as well make our third change now. What's the harm? I'm not taking Aravalo off. I thought he's had quite a good game. We're going to bring this lad on anyway, Tyrone Robinson. And just play him up front. He's mainly a midfielder. We've played him a couple of times. I think he's another one who's come through our youth team. Or at least he's young and not in our first team squad normally. So as far as I'm concerned, that means he's come through our youth team. And again, we're making hard work of an FA Cup tie. But hopefully we've got enough about us to hold on. But Rotherham were the ones attacking, but we come out with the ball. Onomar plays it forward to Adonis, and here is Robinson. Can he grab a goal? He can't. It goes wide. It's the best chance of the game so far. We've had 21 shots and only scored 1 goal. I don't understand how we can be so dominant in a league. I mean, in fact, I understand it perfectly. Our second string isn't all that. We've got a good first 11, not much beyond it. And Onomar's just scored an absolute beauty. 2-0. We're into the 6th round of the FA Cup. And you always moan when I don't show you the draws. So I'm going to show you the draw as well. So I think the draw is in like a day's time. If this episode didn't make it out for 4 o'clock, it's because it's 1:30 now. And I'm hanging around for an extra 3 minutes to show you the draw. So blame the people who moan when you don't see the draw. But we are getting to the business end of the FA Cup now. Imagine if we had a season where we could qualify for the Champions League and win the FA Cup. That would be probably the second best season in Leicester's history, I think. And again, we've had some discussions about that down in the comments before, about Leicester being a one season wonder, which obviously we all know they were. But this could be a second season of wonderness. Right. Yeah. Come on, let's just get to the draw. Yeah, it was all good. Can we have the draw now? Do we get the draw? What should we talk about? We could talk about how, Kev, you could cut this bit out and just go straight to the... Right, here we go then. So, some big teams and Sheffield Wednesday still in the cup. Okay, and Brighton. So, I mean, we're not really afraid. The only team we were afraid of there is Man United. So if we avoid them, we're happy. Liverpool, play Sheffield Wednesday. Brighton, play Tottenham. We're going to get Man United, aren't we? Man United, here it comes, away against United. Bournemouth. So we are at home to Leicester. No, we're not. We are Leicester. We're at home to Southampton. That's winnable. FA Cup. Yeah, well, I don't want to get distracted from trying to get into the Champions League. That being said, I think tomorrow's probably going to be Southampton and Huddersfield. So Southampton in the FA Cup and then Huddersfield in the Premier League. It's all going well. It's all going to fall apart tomorrow, probably. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.